Greetings, everyone. So much love, yo. Appreciate everyone joining this Ronin Experience YouTube channel today. I just want to make a share that I found this amazing article, you know, and it's talking about Canaan, Phoenician, Purple, Akkadians, etc. And anyone that's seen some of my previous shares on the past stories that they invert everything. So we're going to go through this awesome article. It is written from the purview of mainstream, meaning the stuff is over there, right, and not America. But America is Egypt, America is India, America is all the place. I'm in Georgia. Shout out Georgia, the original Georgia. We've seen literally in the last, I've shared my already thing about Georgia over there, that they can change names, they can invert history, they can invert who came where and what direction and where and how and who and what and who. So we're going to go through their articles with a decoder lens, and see how deep the inversion goes, because it's all a lie. The entire realm is a complete lie, you know. So, and that's up to you. So, I mean, massive love and gratitude for those. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to make a comment, give a question, I'll respond to the comments. Um, I have a feeling that we'll be doing a Ronin experience this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I believe Chris Miner will join us. And I have a good feeling that he'll add a bunch, because he already added a bunch. He added some stuff recently that like Hassan and these things, right? And that's where things like Hassan and Jason, and in my opinion, it could be like Asian. So if anyone seen my Garamantes call Asian, maybe it's call Hassan, call Asian, and anything that the mainstream authorities invert and lie to steal one's power, we are removing that power and empowering ourselves in knowing what really happened in the past and putting our stories, or at least my story, the mystery, here in the past stories. So let's get into it, everyone. Let's go. So much love, man. Let's go. Hawa, Hawa. This is coming from the breath of the Almighty, the Eto Wa. All right. So let me increase this so we can see this article. Okay. It's from 1965. Okay, and purple. So I won't get too much into purple, because other people have made amazing videos on purple and how that comes from America, right? So just keep that in mind if you're interested in that. There are other folks that made amazing videos of how one makes purple dye. Okay. Man, my computer's looking weird. Anyway, blah, blah, let's get into it. Canaan. Cathay. Cathay is Canada. Marco Polo went to Canada. All the ones before Marco Polo went to Canada seeking Prester John. Prester John, who goes by many, many, many names, is in America. The one known as Genghis Khan, King Khan, came to America and battled and battled Prester John, aka King David. Prester John was King David. So if you guys are interested in that, check out 432 Drop Radio, who I think's awesome in that he stated that he was going to do a Prester John video like 8 years ago, and it was going to be like 10 hours long. Fast forward to episode, I don't even know, 150, 160 of anywhere from 3 to 6 to 7 hour videos of Prester John, which points to all this stuff. That's why America is India. India superior, Asia superior, all of it. All right. So we're going to look at this. And and get into it. And again, this is another by the way. All these by the ways. This is merely a brochure. And this is a build, a weave on previous shares that I've made. And if you're not aware, you just got to tap into the Ronin experience. You know what I'm saying? And if you're missing out, you're missing out. And also another by the way, all these by the ways, I'm deleting all vids. My vids have a 6-month shelf life. I'm taking away all. So at the end of July, I'll be taking away January vids. Okay, my friends. So you got to tap in. It's lightning in a bottle. And yeah, so enough of that. Near Eastern. This comes from JSTOR, right? And they study this stuff. So let's get into it. 1965 article, okay? From them people, from them bases. If you know, you know. Okay, we're going to read and decode this as we go. What is going on with, hold on, my friends. Something's up with this vid. Why is it looking like that? That was very, very strange. Anyway, we're going to read it. It's like 5 or 6 pages full of awesomeness. Okay. For a long time, the name canon was considered Semitic. Then this name appeared in cuneiform texts from Tel El Armana and Bogaskoy as key. And again, you guys know how I decode, and it's funny how they decode in a very similar fashion. Let me increase it. Hold on, guys. I want to increase it so we see this. Syllable by syllable. All right, let me decrease it just a touch. Okay. Ki, na, a, ni. Ki, na, a, na. So the ni and the na. Ki, na, a, he. Ki, na, a, he. Ki, na, he. Both are suffixes. So when you the ni and the na, and without it, these are suffixes. You have to grasp these things. Like in my opinion, the da, like when I look at he, na, and let's say da is a suffix. Da, ko, da, which I've already talked about. These are suffixes, so it's good to grasp these things. Sage, what are you eating? Anyway, my dog's eating something that she shouldn't be. But anyway, the suffix form corresponding to Hebrew, Phoenician, which are the same thing. Hebrew, Phoenician are the same thing, and Egyptian. Wow. Hinan occurs in our Amarna letters from Phoenician, Tyre, Byblos. Okay. The non-suffixed form, similar to china, kina, china, kana, the mythical ancestor of the Phoenicians in the Byblos, was used outside of canon. So chana is what outside of the, I love how they say the mythical ancestors was what they called Canaan. China. They referred to it as China. Okay? The progress in grammatical analysis of Hurrian language caused Julius Louis to interpret Canaan as a Hurrian word formed with the Hurrian suffixes he, hi, he, and na. So hi and na. It was also revealed that the Akkadian written text of New Zu And in my opinion, I'll share in a second how Zoo and Sue are the same. We'll get into Sue, right? And when we already talked about Hurrion. Who? Okay, so there's a park, National Park Acadia. Acadia. Let's zoom out. So you know the location. Okay. Memorize this location. Now, this is China. This is Cathay. We'll get it. We're going to get into this. And this was not named recent. And who else are the quote unquote the Indians here? The Huron. There's Lake Huron. And the Huron are the natives here. That's why I shared that. Hurion, comes from the Acadians. The Acadians, Acadia, which is what they call the quote unquote pre-Columbian, which is an awesome term, hilarious, awesome in that the comedy of it, has been Acadia for a long time. And the Huron people have been here. So Acadia, Huron is in America. The Hurion that is known in Acadia in the text New Zoo. Again, I'll repeat, we'll get into the Sioux in a bit. A predominantly Hurrion city. The word Kinahu designated red purple dye. And one of the homies out there, I need to drink some water already. One of the homies out there have shared about the red people, and that is in also this region. So think about, and if you want to know just a thing, the Mongolians again, the Mongolian Genghis Khan came through here. Who do you know famously rides horseback with arrows? The Indians, right? And they tell you the Mongolians dominated on horseback with arrows, but who are the feathered people, the copper colored people, the red people, the whoever people, the black foot, the Nikas, the Negas, the Nika, the Neek, the Nick, right? I say that with love and respect and honor. It was through here. And what is this area? This is like plains. This is like what you could even consider steps. Okay. E.A. Spicer understood this term as an adjective derived from Canaan. So Kinahu, the native name of Phoenicia. So the native name of Phoenicia, Canaan, aka derived from Kinahu, which I'm posturing as saying this is Canada, aka China, aka Cathay, which we'll get into it. Massive maps have shown that Canada was known as Cathay. Marco Polo went to Cathay looking for Prester John, who lived in Canada. Ka, call. Look up the Blackfoot. I've already made a video on the Blackfoot Indians here. So, again, you got to tap in. This is not me just making stuff up. This is a build, a weave, a cook. What else do they say? I'm sewing the tapestry, building on previous stuff. So this isn't me making just wild assumptions. The massivity of the evidence is incredible. So anyway, a country famous for purple production. Purple, again, you'll have to check out some other people's vids on how the purple dye is made. Shout out horseshoe crabs. Horseshoe crabs have a special place in my heart as a child, East Coast. Anyway, W.F. Albright, on the other hand, explained the word kinahi as a genuine Hurrian adjective, which precisely meant purple. Canaan, thus being a Hurrian ablative of Phoenicia as the country of purple dye. Shout out horseshoe crabs. New epigraphic discoveries in Egypt. Egypt is America. That's a LARP over there. If you look at the dates, we'll look into the dates. That's why I got a few tabs here. Ugarit and Allah La. Shout out again, Islam here in America. Shout out Islam here in America. Shout out to Mount Harmonic. Dude, imagine being Islamic and trying to be a good Muslim, a good Muslim, a good Muslim, right? And praying to a black cube in what they call Mecca that was really in the 1600s they made it. They go, we built it, it got destroyed. We rebuilt it, it got destroyed. Rebuilt it, and it got destroyed. 1600s, supposedly. They make that black cube and over there. Now imagine if you were really into Islam and Ishmael and them, you would be focusing on Indianapolis. The what's the name of that? In Indiana. Indiana. Ever heard of it? India. Ever heard of it? When was India named India? Look it up. When was China officially named China? Look it up. So shout out Allah La revealed early occurrences of the name Canaan already in its classical form. Canaan, right? The spelling of which is incompatible with Hurrian phonetics. It's incompatible. So Mascati, on the basis of the new facts, concluded Canaan is the original form and Kinahu is the derived one. The name Canaan is autochronothonis. Shout out to I can almost articulate every word. I don't know. The characteristic industry of dyeing fabrics in red took its name from who are known as the Redskins, right? Think about that. When we're talking these colors, who was most famous for red and copper and purple? The region, as in Muslim from Mosul, and not vice versa. This guy Albright conceded that Hurrian explanation seems to be ruled out, though the ending N-I, ni, may still be non-Semitic. Okay. The original non-suffixed form of Canaan may thus be restored as Kina'u, a quital formation from the Western Semitic. Are we not in the West Indies, the West Semitic? Root KN. What's Canada's? It's CA, I think. What's their abbreviation when you go on like their internet? Is it CA or is it CN? I'm not sure. Anyway, normally becoming Kinahu in Akkadian transcription with the gemination of the last consonant, which frequently took place in the spelling of non-Akkadian words in geographical names like Amuru, or Simuru, Muru, Amuri, America, y'all, America. And just so everyone knows, Norwegian, so people, Norwegian English translation. Let's go the other way around. Mason. Get out of here. Mason in Norwegian is murer, murer, M-U-R-M-E-R, M-A-R, M-U-U-R, M-H-U-R, M-O-O-R. Armor, Rue, the Rue. Shout out to the Rue. I got it, Whoops, that's a YouTube channel I don't want to go to. But Andrus, Rus, the Rue, on Rue, Russia. On Rus. Who's that dude? Is that a Saracen? What are these Saracens doing out here? Anyway, Tani. We've talked about Tani on this channel before in some of my previous decodes. Okay. Nominative mi tanu, he, la, ku, etc. As a geographical name, it was regularly used in the genitive kinahi, like Amuri, Amur, Amuri, America, America, Amuri, Ni, Tani, and Su, Bar, the Bur, the Bar, the Barbars, the Berbers, the Harbors, etc. Since the suffix form in kinanu in cuneiform documents written in the genitive with the ending ni or na was the one used in West Semitic speaking regions, including Phoenicia, where no Hurrian influence was detected. The ending n is to be taken as an attested, though rare, Semitic forming suffix. Oh, so rare. Semitics, Seminoles, America. Rather than as a Hurrian article. Okay. So it remains to establish the West Semitic etymology of Canaan, only noted that the original etymology of Canaan and its cognates are not strictly relevant to the present problem, i.e. to the derivation of the name Phoenicians, the phoenixes. According to this guy, of the two biblical usages of Canaan, the common noun mar, Murray, Murra, Murrer, Mar, right? More seafaring people, right? But I'm sure they just stuck to the Mediterranean. I'm sure they didn't leave the Mediterranean. They just stuck there. Just like where's that one dork? I have this one guy pulled up. John Cabot. Yo, this cat. John Cabot, born Giovanni Caboto. Why do you change his name to John? Why do they always be changing their name? In 1497, sailed to North America under King Henry VII. He was the first European since the Vikings to check the mainland, right? And later claimed to Canada. Now, he thought he was in Cathay. Did he think he was in Cathay? Didn't he claim he was going to China? John Abbott, also known as Jim, aimed to reach Cathay, aka China, by sailing west in 1497. He was going to China. He was going to Cathay. He believed he had achieved this when he landed in North America, Canada. He thought he had reached Asia. He had actually landed in present-day Canada. He landed in Asia. He landed in China. He landed in Cathay, Also, because all of that is Canada in 1497, after the one guy sailed the ocean blue, right? They had no idea. We're going to China, y'all. Yeah, you made it. You made it to China. Can you guys see that? Let me just increase that if you can't. He made it to China. This is mainstream goofiness, right? So, but you know, am I reaching? I don't think so. Merchant is the original in the ethnicon. We already talked about cons and corns and vessels and water vessels and nouns. Ethnicon Canaanite. The derived one, Canaan, being the country of merchants. So China, Cathay, Canaan, Canada was known as the country of merchants. However, nothing in the root KN suggests any relation to commerce, not excluding the hapax kina or kinaa in Jeremiah, which Mazor interpreted as merchandise. Now, what I see this as a noun, I personally see this as like a people, right? Instead of merchandise, I see it in my grimoire as potentially a people. That's just me. I don't know. You know, it is inherently more probable that the ethicon Canaanite acquired the connotation merchant in biblical Hebrew because of the renowned commercial activities of the Phoenicians. Okay. Albright now proposes either to follow Mazar or to assume the lost Semitic word kn for murex. Masons. Fake. These are real Masons. The new Masons are fake and phonies. Americans. Murex. The land of Murex. In order to say the significant, oh Lord, I got it. Signification, purple dyed country for Canaan. Let me drink some water, guys. I'm loving this, man. If such a word for murex ever existed in Semitic, it has been so completely lost that no hint whatsoever allows one to make this kind of assumption. See, they're trying to cover their tracks, right? It was formerly supposed that Canaan might signify lowland. This is where hijackery comes in, guys. But the root Canaan does not have the intransitive intransitive. Got him. Government indoctrination camps. Gratitude for y'all. Got me some intransitive, meaning to be low. This is them trying to demonize these awesome Canadians. Moscato, rejecting for good reasons all of the previously suggested etymologies of Canaan, did not adduce any of his own. So there's no lowland, no low people there, right? The established semantics of the word KN provide us, however, with an acceptable explanation of the name Canaan. The biblical Hebrew, again, coming from America, it is along with Phoenician, they're one and the same. It is found only in Nephal, to be subdued or to lower oneself, or in Hifal, to subdue. Now, what I like about this is that, you again, syllable by syllable, you can swap some of these words out in your grimoire, right? And in my opinion, these aren't like to lower. It's like when you roll up on when the Phoenicians and the Canaanites and the Americans roll up on you, the Indians roll up on you, or you roll up on them, you better lower yourself, because these guys are, badasses, right? Okay, so in Aramaic, it occurs also in qual, You also have like you have to. The Q is interesting. You can go like qual, core, quar, car. You know, those types of things. Kana, to bow down, bend. In Arabic, the verb kana has several semantically unconnected usages, of which those related to the Hebrew and Aramaic cognates are to fold wings and to descend to earth. That's pretty cool. Phoenix, said of a large bird. This is in Arabic. And B, to bow, to incline towards the horizon of a star, as if of a star, as applied to the sun, the Su, the Sunni, the Su, the Zu, right? It would be exactly equivalent to the Latin Ocadere, the derived form kinau or kin anu, signifying the Occident, the land of sunset, or the Westlands. There's a lot here, guys. The West Semitic translation or counterpart, Amuru, the Westland, the land of sunset, Amuru. This Akkadian term in Syria, partially adopted by the Syrians themselves, means west. They're out there. Those Canaanites, they're west, yo. This dude was looking for them too. He went west. He found China. He found the Canaanites. He found Cathay, the Catholics. He found them. He went west, according to this document. It's ideographic writing, mar, to mar. We mentioned mer, you know, consists of mar, dialectic of Sumerian of gar. I've already gone over gar, har, her, ger, her, Germany, Garamond. I already have a Garamond vid, Garamantes. That's why I say harmony, Garmuni, harmony, harmony. From the Sioux Murray. We're going to get into the Sioux in a second. Murray, America, merchant, right? Moors, Murrs, Mew, all that. Dialectical Sumerian for Gar, Akkadian, Sakanu, Sakanu, Sa. You know, there's a lot of stuff here in America related to Sa and Sioux. Just look it up on a map. To install, to place, and to equals Akkadian Arubu. You ever heard of Aruba? There's Aruba, right? And I've gone over Ebor, right? The son of King David, Ebor. That's where you have Iberia everywhere. Iberia, Liberia, Siberia, you name it, right? Ebor, Iberu, Irebu. But you'll see there's as they say, derivations. Anyway. And his derivations, Nirabu, Ni-ri-bu, entrance, Iribu, sunset. I bet Aruba. I've never been there. I know it's dope, but they probably have awesome sunsets. In the West Indies, right? The terms Canaan and Amuru were largely synonymous. When you see Amuru, you see Canaan. We're largely synonymous in the Amarna age text in the Bible. It's in the Bible. America, in my opinion, is in the Bible. Canaan is in the Bible. The Bible comes from America, right? Brahma comes from India. America's India. Abraham, right? Abraham, right? The Bai and the bull. If you believe that, the Tanakh, right? Here we go. Phoenix. Phoenix. Y'all fans of phoenixes? How about then you must be fans of Phoenician if you're fans of the phoenix, because in Greek they're known as phoenix, right? Foy the Knicks, the Knickas, the Knickas. I say that with respect. It's, still makes me giggle, right? What do you want me to do? It's a loaded word, but it's a very profound word. Phoenician. It's right there. The Nick. The Phoenix. The most, and you ever have a black swan event? You ever have a black swan event? A bunch of freaking phoenixes rolling up on your spot, a bunch of Knicks roll up. Your world's going to change. That's where the Black Swan event, because their boats were also, I've seen things where they're shaped and carved like swans. World, and they're going to bring that purple. The most convincing is certainly the derivation from Phoenix, aka purple. So Phoenix in regards to this is purple, referring to the characteristic Phoenician trade. Again, looking at other people's vids on how purple dye was made, how difficult it was. Shout out horseshoe crabs. Okay. Admire, the most prominent defender of this theory, Phoenix was a purely Greek word. Spicer also shared their interpretation of the Greek term as a strictly European development. Oh, that's cute. That is to say, Phoenix started out as Greek, as a Greek appellative, presumably based on phenos, red. It was admitted that Phoenix derives from Phoenix, Phon, Eos, murderous. These sanguinary blood. Oh, they're so Can you believe these purple niggas rolling up in their Black Swan events, and they're coming from Cafe Canada, and they're known for their purple, and they're just murder. Oh my gosh. Probably wearing feathers with the swan, probably wearing swan feathers, dyed in red and purple, rolling up like, my gosh, they're the bloodthirsty murderous. I don't know. I'm just for which the Indo-European root was restored on the basis of numerous cognates as gahonos, hanos. But the primitive sound G, gu, still existed in Mycenaean Greek as Q. So gu could be Q. Qhonos. Now the adjective Phoenician for certain imported goods appeared already in the Linear B text as ponica, or they call it phonica. P's and F's are interchangeable in my grimoire, my personal grimoire, which also meant, along with the form ponikaja, painted, crimson. Oh, these red-colored people, these copper-colored people, they're painted. They're picked. They're picked. The Blackfoot tribe. They're picked. They're the Picta people. They're the pagan. They're the Fae people. Again, y'all into the Fae? They're the Kanai people. Oh, these Blackfoot pick people. These pick Ani. Oh, the Sika. The Sikhs. The Sikhs, these Blackfoot in Man, in the Mons, in the Mongolians, in the Cathays, in the Chinas. Oh, the painted crimson, dyed crimson. Ventris and Chadwick therefore correctly stated that the Ponica or the Phonica probably was a loan word not from Fianus, blood red, but which is from Guhanios. If then phoenix can no longer be considered a Greek word, its source must be sought, most probably among the very people who were famous as crimson and purple dyers, whom the Greeks called Phoenicians. Now, Hebrew, Puwa, Puwa, in Arabic, Fuwa. Remember I literally just said P's and F's are interchangeable when you get into Hebrew, Phoenician, P's and F's. Add that. It's been in my grimoire, and I've shared this many times. So the Fae, P's and F's, Fagon, Fae, the Fae-Kani, right? P's and F's, the Fae. It's funny anyway. The Fae, the Fae. If you're in the Fae, you might want to look at the Pei. Pei, Gan. And again, I mentioned in China, in modern day China, Pei, king. Pei, Gan, Pei, Khan. And we know that China is Canada. So Fei, Khan, the Khan of the Fei. Canada, Cathay. It's pretty simple mathematics. You know what I mean? Full, and it is the name of Rubia tictorinum, or dyer's matter, a herb. They're saying it comes from a plant. They're saying it comes from Syria, Palestine, Egypt. Right, one of the most red dye and imitation purple. Okay, imitation purple, because the real purple came from America. Shout out horseshoe crabs. And in antiquity. In antiquity, Puit appears as early as Ugarit in a context that firmly establishes meaning as mad dye. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. You know, you guys can look into this. Funi, Fuwa, Puwa. It's in the Bible, and it's in your King James demonology. Oh, wait, no, that was his other book. I meant to say his Bible. Right? Hebrew adjectives. Odd money, admoni, or cod, moni, aka Oriental, Ori, or Uri, Ireland, maybe. I don't know. I might be reaching, but you know what I mean. With the assimilation of the half consonant W, which is duality, double U. Used to be a V, two V's, to the corresponding vowel U into a long U, a double U, a U and a U is literally W is a duality. U, U. This form, pu, ni, adjective from pu, wa, pa, pua, puai, fuai, fulani, also potentially, I don't know. Red dye provides us with the prototype of the Greek phoenix and of the Latin Fianus, Punus, Funus, Punicus, Punicus, or Punicus. You know what I mean? All love and respect. I'm not trying to be silly, you know what I mean? But you already know. I made videos already on this. So it corresponds to the Greek word both phonetically, semantically, and as a Semitic loan word, it is by no means exceptional in the Mycenaean Greek, which can okay. All right. And if you guys see anything here, Germany, Garamantes. Garamantes, the Garamans. All right. With swirl is dubious. Okay, I'm about over it. What's this? Last page? Last page. Okay. Extracting purple from Murray. Murray seas. Right. Yeah, America's Egypt. America's all this. The Phoenicians come from America. The phoenixes come from the purple dye comes from all that stuff. So let's run through. What are some tabs that I have? Caracan, the Carahan, Caracan. Looking at the Caracans over there by Göbekli Tepe, right? TP. Who's known for teepees? Tepe, Tefe. Cara everywhere. Caribe, right? Carolinas, Cairo, because America's Egypt. Cara everywhere. Quar with a Q as well, and a C. Man, this is Noah Sage. I got to go through this website. It has a lot, so I'm gonna have to go through this website. What else we got here? Oh, this is just a fun site that I found. List of Sioux gods, right? For the Sioux. Western Phoenician. Deity's name, Baal Saman, right? Sah. Lord of Heaven. You guys see this? Let's see. Canaanite. So this is a Canaanite thing, right? Oh wow, at Kara Tepe, Kara, right? So that's just fun. This is just fun. Just looking. Kari. Even out there in the Pacific, the Kari. Ojibwe, Canada. Murray. The Sumerians, the Babylonians. Oh, the haven't already showed that site? Oh, look at the Tower of Babel. Yeah. When was Canada known as Cathay? The Catan. Look at the Kara Catan and the Kara Cathay. Cathay. They want to say it's China. There's a lot here. Of course, Iraq, right? Iraqian. The Iroquois is here in America as well. The name Canada originates from the Iroquois word Kanata. Yeah. Yeah. Names of China. I had this one, like they just called China like in the like after like it's like 1912. They called China China. Like 1912, y'all. Look into this. Just I'm not gonna do your homework for you. Do me a favor. Check out this names of China and then go look when was it officially called China? 1912. And then after what happens? WWW2, WW2, then it was also a double extra officially made China. But before that, it wasn't China, it had other names. That's how easy it is. What was China called in the 1800s? It was primarily known as the Qing Dynasty up until 1912. Right? And a few other names, but China was not known as China in the 1800s or before that. It's not an ancient name of what they call China. Canada was an ancient name. Cathay was an ancient name for China, aka Canada. When was China? What was China called before? Oh, and they went through a couple revisions, right? China, and then they made another thing. 12. It's just their information. When did Iraq become? So Iraq, right? 1932. Before that, it was not Iraq. They were not known as Iraqis. The Iroquois, aka Iraq, was in North America, tribes. All you gotta do, look at their mainstream info, glean the info, discernment. Their math doesn't add up. When did China become? This is me just surfing, This is all bullshit. So once you get through that bullshit, you'll find that they come through here. Now, I've shared the annals of Kentucky. They have Ishmael and the harmonica here, Kentucky. They go to India. They go to India. They go to the holy mountain of harmonics, Mecca, India, Mahamat, Morocco, this Kankakee in Indiana. Okay? So that's it, and that's that. Massive love. Appreciate y'all. Hope you like this share. This is just a brochure. There's so many other branches. I don't have the energy to make 5-hour vids on these things because it would last. I could literally make hundreds of hours of vids on all the branches here that are present itself for those alchemists and decoders that have a grimoire, ever-changing grimoire. Massive love. Appreciate you. My mouth is so dry. Hold on. Support the American Underground Anubis and hit the like if you made it this far. Leave a comment, man. A lot of my stuff gets hardly zero. My last call occasions, 0 comments. Do you think that's going to motivate me to do more shares? If you like this stuff and you want to motivate anyone, not just me, anyone to make shares and give you that real uncut stuff that you're not going to find, you got to learn a mindset to figure these things out on your own. This is to empower you to figure it out on your own. Again, my source, if you want to know where I get my source information, it's literally from my own eyeballs, my own discernment. That's it. It's a Boil It Down channel. Come check us out this Saturday, 9 p.m. Appreciate you. Massive love. Appreciate all the homies that support the underground, support the real ones, the realest ones. And you guys are amazing. Nothing can stop you. You're powerful. So hope this info finds you massively blessed and empowered. And I just thoroughly enjoy this stuff. Anyway, I'm out of here. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Gibbering and jabbering. So much love. Signing off. Thank you. Peace.